Welcome to Secrets from the Saddle podcast. I'm Sylvie Dow, your host, fellow cyclist, bike club founder, cycling coach, bike race junkie, just truly super passionate about cycling. My journey with cycling started 20 years ago when I opened a spin studio, started a women's race team, and founded a women's only cycling club called Cycle Fit Chicks. I'm super thrilled to reveal all aspects that make the world of cycling operate. I'm so excited to be able to bring you interesting people from around the world, pro cyclists, recreational cyclists, coaches, event organizers, bike shop owners, everything and everyone you need to know or ever wondered about when it comes to cycling. I know you'll enjoy this episode. Hey friends, before we get into this next amazing episode, and I apologize for being tardy this week, I just want to let you know about my winter training cycling program. Now, it's a membership. You can jump in at any time. What you're going to do is learn all about the cycling skills online that are going to make you a much better cyclist, mountain biker, gravel rider in the spring, or even on Swift if you're doing that and you're racing right now. Potentially you're missing some of the key skills and fundamentals that are going to take you to the next level. So I just want to put that out there. If you're looking to improve upon those skills and techniques that you feel that you're lacking, this might be the program for you. We have Thursday night skills sessions, Saturday group rides, Tuesday night intervals or races, and you put all the skills to work so they make sense and you are working towards achieving your goals for the spring. And hopefully that's one of two things: maintaining your summer fitness, improving your efficiency, and maybe working towards a much bigger goal like 100-kilometer event like some of us. So if that's you, I would love you to go to your phone and text the word cycling to 819-809-0999. And remember, it doesn't matter what kind of fitness level you're at, where you live, everything is, the skill sessions are recorded. We join up on Swift. We have people from the United States and we have people from the UK. It's totally amazing and doable, and this could be for you. So remember, text the word cycling to 819-809-0999 and just check out the details there. Take care and enjoy this next episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Secrets from the Saddle, all things cycling podcast with your host. And we have a super cool interview set up with Melanie Poel, and she is a mountain bike instructor in and around Toronto. And I met her at Hurton and Halliburton, and look, I even have one of her stickers on my water bottle. So Stoked Mountain Biking is Melanie's baby, and I can't wait to learn from her about how she started her business and how she got into mountain biking and how she turned her passion into an obsession about setting up these mountain bike sessions. So I hope you're going to stick around and stay tuned for meeting Melanie. And here she is. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Secrets in the Saddle, all things cycling podcast with your host, Sylvie Dow, sitting in here at Chelsea, Quebec, Canada. We have Melanie Poel, which is like, I think I said your name wrong in the intro, but who is sitting in Hamilton, Ontario. And the cool thing about Melanie is that I have seen her twice, 2 years in a row at Hurton and Halliburton. Why? Because she puts on the best bike stop at number 4 that has bacon, waffles. She had pierogies this time. They, like, you could smell her bike stuff coming around. I'm like, oh my God, what do they have this time? And I've got this really cool sticker. So just like the one on her shirt, I got a Stoked
Yay!
sticker. Her company is Stoked, and that's what we're going to talk about, Stoked mountain bike sessions. So welcome, Melanie, to the podcast. I'm super happy to have you.
Oh, thanks so much. I am stoked to be here.
No pun included. I'm
Oh,
stoked to
I
have
know.
you.
Yeah. It's so funny to me that it took me about 3.5 months from when I decided I was going to start my own business. It took me 3.5 months to come up with a name.
Oh,
Like I was like, oh, like the first thing you do is you register the business, but you need the name. And I was like, oh, what am I gonna call this? And then just out of the blue, I was like, stoked. And as soon as I said it to people, they were like, yes, that is you. If there's one word, it's stoked. That's Mel. So I'm like, okay, got the right name.
oh, I love it. And then you have to search and make sure nobody else has it.
Yeah, there's that part too.
Yeah, yeah. If I get stoked and make a little change, it's all make it unique. So
Yeah.
Mel, I love asking the first question is always like how you got into mountain biking. How did it lead you to decide to start a mountain bike business called Stoked?
Awesome. Great question. And I love telling this story. So grab yourself a nice cup of tea or something,
Yeah,
and I'm
I
going
got
to
my
regale
water.
you with the legend of Stoked MTB. So I grew up horse obsessed, and after high school, I decided I was going to take a year off to decide what I wanted to do with my life. Fun fact, I'm still trying to figure that out. But
I think we all kind of in that
yeah,
situation sometimes.
yeah. But I got into galloping race horses. Started at Woodbine in
Oh,
Toronto, and it took me for a decade. And I traveled quite a bit. It's a very nomadic lifestyle. So I lived in Toronto. I lived in Fort Erie, Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Florida, and even New Orleans, Louisiana. Oh, and a little stint in England as well.
wow.
And I know, right?
With
I
your
loved it.
horses, or is it just like
Oh,
you?
they were not my horses. I couldn't
Oh,
afford
so
those things.
you
They're way
traveled
too
and you
expensive.
competed
Yeah.
on other horses. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
good.
So just to be clear, I was not a jockey. I was an exercise rider. I
Okay.
like to eat, and there was no way I could get my weight down to the 110 pounds you need to be a jockey. Hard no. I was an exercise rider, so I would go out and I would ride anywhere from 10 to 17 horses each morning to exercise them to get them fit for the races. And it was really exciting, somewhat dangerous as well. And by the end of my 20s, my brother and his wife had their first child, and I was like, I want to live in one place. I want to be a good auntie to my new nephew. So I moved home. That was the end of 2024. Sorry,
Just a
2004.
second.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
2004. Okay.
Yeah, '04. So I came home to Canada the very end of 2004, and I needed a hobby to get into, leaving behind the horse racing. And so I got into bird watching. So it was very interesting, but it was boring. So yeah.
My mom's a bird watcher. I
Yeah.
kind of know.
I still like, I'll be teaching a lesson, all of a sudden I'll be like, that's a northern flicker. Look, everyone, a bald eagle.
I know, eh?
It
What are you
never
looking at?
stops.
Can't you see it? No.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I needed something else to fill that void of excitement in my life. And in 2006, I bought my first mountain bike. It was quite a big feat for me because I was making just over minimum wage, and to spend that much money on a bicycle was irresponsible. Like, we're talking $500.
I know. My first mountain bike was 700. I had to put it on layaway to pay it. And
Yeah. So,
that was in 1998.
that
You
was a
know?
nice bike. Yeah.
Oh, no, not really.
So.
But anyways, no shocks. But it was a mountain bike, like
Yeah.
$700 a rock, like a Norco. Anyways, but
Yeah. Yeah. This is a specialized hard rock, which is why those entry level bikes still have a very special place in my heart. They have a very important role. So I bought that first bike, which was in retrospect kind of, I didn't know anyone else that rode mountain bikes. I didn't know where to go. I was afraid of falling and getting hurt and being like, who the hell's gonna find me? Like, so I just went to places where I used to ride horses on trails and stuff. And I just kind of would tootle around. I'd go for a good long ride. Like, we're talking 30 to almost 45 minutes. Oh yeah, because I had no frame of reference, right?
I know. I remember those days when I was first, oh my
Yeah.
God, 20 kilometers. I'm so fast.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I was, but like.
So I got the bike, and I just sort of tootled around with it for a bit. And then one winter, a couple winters later, I was thinking, you know what? I think next year I'm going to really get in. I want to ride my bike more. And I did some searching online, and I found that a local bike shop had a free women's beginner mountain bike ride. And I was like, that's the three things I'm looking for: women's, beginner, and free. So it wasn't a club or anything. You just went. So I went, and that very first ride, I like to say, like, it changed my life. I call it igniting the passion. And right from that first ride, I was just like, oh my God, this is mountain biking. This is amazing. I mean, I thought we were defying death. And like, I go back and I ride those trails and I'm like, God, remember when I used to be scared of this? And it just, just.
That's where you bring the beginners, right? This is my
yeah.
first trail.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's one of the things that makes me a good instructor is my empathy. I remember very clearly what it was like to be a beginner and stuff. And so I started those rides, and like right from that first ride, all of a sudden mountain biking was all I wanted to do. Like, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And that's why I call it igniting the passion. Like the spark becomes a flame, and just it becomes an obsession, and eventually a full-blown addiction. And I made some very good friends. We rode together all the time. Like, it was always the three of us with other people as well. And we rode together all the time. We'd go on trips together. I used to enter bike races, but I would call them bike events. I am not a competitive person. I'm that person in the middle of the pack chatting up a storm. Yakety, 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 yak. And people would be like, shouldn't you be pedaling harder? And I'm like, I just want to be around people that like bikes.
Who's this chick?
I did get quite a bit of that. And in retrospect, what I was doing at all of those races was I was looking for camaraderie. Which plays a role. We'll put a pin in that one for a bit, because that comes back later. So I had these great friends that we rode all the time. We helped each other. We progressed. We really supported each other and the community. And then one fateful day, my two besties, one announced that she was moving to Squamish, and the other one announced she was pregnant. And I was like, well, y'all suck. I was like,
ciao.
Yeah,
What?
I essentially lost both my riding buddies in the same day. That was a pretty dark day in the history of Mel. But in looking back, it triggered a lot of positive changes. So I was a little bit lost for a while. In 2015, I was asked by the local bike shop to take over leading their women's rides. And this is the one that got me started. The same shop, that same free women's beginner mountain bike ride. and they asked me to take over leading it. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And they said, we'll give you discounts. And I was like, oh, remember the addiction part? Feed my addiction with discounts. So I was like, all right, okay, I'll do this. So I begrudgingly took it on. First ride that I led, I still remember to this day who was there. I know the route that we did. I remember the conversations we had. And why? Because it ignited a whole new passion for me. Like just from that very first ride that I led, it opened up a whole new avenue for me, which was supporting people to get into the sport that I'm so obsessed with, and helping them to fall in love with the sport too. And I was blown away by this. I just absolutely loved it. So I started leading the rides. I convinced the original woman who was leading the rides when she got me started. That's Mary Evans. I convinced her to come back for 2016.
Why does that name sound so familiar? Mary Evans. Might be another person.
I don't know. She's been at the Hurton and Halliburton races a few times with her dog Tug and her husband Dave. Yeah.
Maybe I met her.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's done some, I don't know about road, but track as well. A little bit of track cycling and stuff. I don't know. The world's not that big, but
yeah, I know, right?
But Mary's presence is big, so I'm not surprised. She's absolutely an amazing woman. So yeah, I got her to come back, and that women's ride, we went from we grew it into what is now the Freewheel Dirt Girls. So when I took over in 2015, we had on average about 2 or 3 women a week. This spring, we were having 30 to 35 women a week coming out.
So is this just a group or is it a club?
I love that question because I'm always very adamant. We are a group, not a club. There are no barriers to coming out.
Okay.
So, because that was, and I wanted to make sure that we kept it that way, because that was one of the things that drew me in, was that there was no commitment, right? What if I didn't like it? Or if it's a club, there's a higher level of intimidation, and you're adding a fee. Like maybe that entry level, the cheapest bike on the sales floor, maybe that was an irresponsible amount of money for that person to spend on a bicycle. So to remove those barriers and to just get them to just come out, and then meet all the other women who are going through a lot of the same things and the same barriers. It's what I absolutely love about that women's group. So
see, the reason why I asked this, Mel, is because I've met 2 other women in Toronto who have started, like Galdem, you might have heard of them, and Saddle Sisters. So both of them are they're groups.
Okay.
So, same thing, free, come and ride. And I have a club where for women only who you pay, and to join, we have like 7 organized rides a week. We give out a free learn to group ride clinic. It comes with a jersey. So, but the thing is that I've seen this, and I'm interviewing somebody else in the States who has something like yours, but she's kind of like, so there's now more groups stemming up. Oh, it's just like Les Poudres qui roulent. Have you heard of them?
Nope. Don't think
so. It's a women's Quebec mountain bike group.
Oh, okay.
So they have different chapters. Les Poules. So it's the chicken that rides, or the chick that rides, the chick that rides.
Nice.
So yeah, so they have different chapters all over Quebec. And this other woman has different chapters across the United States. And I'm like, wow, because I would love to have my club do that. But and I'm like, I don't know if I can change the concept of a paid club because of I know. So this is kind of what I'm looking at. And I didn't realize that you had a group. So it's it's that big question, like, how could I possibly have more women engaged in road cycling, across Canada in a club like my club, like, and having
Yeah.
different chapters all over the place, and making sure that everybody's safe and things are, you know. So
Hmm.
tell me more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll start just by saying, like, it's not my group. I am Mary and I are the ride leaders, but it is a shop ride. So the bike
Right.
shop, Freewheel Cycle, which is also, I work there too, and we've got 3 weekly rides that are run by shop ambassadors and some of the staff as
Okay.
well. There's the women's mountain bike ride, which we've called the Dirt Girls. Wednesday night is the Travel by Gravel group ride, led by Mark and Heather.
Oh, travel by
From,
gravel. Love
I
that.
know, yeah.
God,
So
wow.
yeah, there is the link of how Stoked got to Hurton and Halliburton.
Yeah, yeah. Those yeah. Heather and Mark, we had them on the podcast
Yeah, I heard.
a
Yeah, it was
week or two
awesome.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Thursday night is the intermediate advanced open ride. So
Okay.
it's all genders. And so those are the 3 rides that Freewheel Cycle offers. So,
What about weekends?
yeah. This is one of the things, like, we're still a bike shop. Weekends are really busy
Mhm.
at a bike shop. And to keep everything free, it's
Mhm.
all volunteers.
Right.
And you can only ask so much of your volunteers.
Right. Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. But that being said, there's a lot of things to do on weekends. And so we like to connect the different parts of the community and be like, hey guys, did you hear about this is going on this weekend? You hear about that's going on that weekend?
Hmm.
Yeah. There's
Mm.
also the MTB exchange, which is a little bit like, remember high school exchange program,
Yeah.
where we send Kyle to Germany and Germany sends Gunther to us for a year. It's kind of the the MTB exchange, Amanda Freeman's passion project, and it's like a club of clubs,
Oh.
where it connects all the different women's mountain bike groups and clubs in Ontario, and they take turns hosting rides. So, for example, yesterday was October 30th. That was Turkey Point's turn to host a ride. And so women from all of these clubs across Ontario descended upon Turkey Point for this really awesome ride, which I missed because I have a cold.
Where's Turkey Point?
Wow, we are far apart, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Well, I know where
Then my
Hamilton is and everything kind of in
yeah,
between, but I'm
it's
sure Turkey
it's
Point is not a big place.
it's no, it's but it's infamous in southwestern Ontario because those trails are so sandy that you can ride them, like they are the first trails to dry out after a rainstorm. So you're like, oh, it's raining, I'm gonna hit Turkey Point tomorrow. So,
Oh, really? So is that
yeah,
like
it's
down
on the
along the
it's
Niagara
on
border?
it's actually on Lake Erie, near
Oh,
Long
okay.
Point and such. So yeah, so
Ah, okay. Well, yeah, Hamilton is along there, so.
yeah, so
Well, learn
it's
something
about
new.
an
Turkey
hour.
Point.
Turkey Point. Yeah. So, but yeah, the MTB exchange had rides all over Ontario, so it's a great way to connect the different networks uh, of women. So,
Have
yeah.
you, is this like monthly?
Um, they're more than that. They have like a full. It's basically like almost every other weekend
Okay.
through the season. So, but I think they're pretty much wrapped up for the year. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So I wonder if they make them all the way uh east, like Cornwall and Brockville. Do they do stuff like that out here?
Probably. If not, maybe this conversation will cause some more connections. Some
Yeah.
women's group in your area to reach out to Amanda and say, hey, I want to be part of the MTB exchange for next year.
Do they have to be in Ontario?
I don't know. That's a great question for Amanda. I don't know how her insurance works. I
Oh,
know,
okay. Well,
yeah, I know that that there is a connection to the OCA. You have to have
okay.
an OCA, so I would imagine it does need to be in Ontario. But yeah, so Sault Ste. Marie, North Bay, Sudbury, Barrie, Collingwood.
You're getting closer.
Yeah,
Couple more hours east. You
yeah,
got
yeah,
Ottawa. But
yeah.
everybody's in the Gatineau Park, which is in Quebec, which is right across the Ottawa River. So
Okay, we can. Let's put a pin in that one, and I'm going to circle back to that. If I
yeah.
can continue on my tale of how I got to where I am, because
Oh yeah,
there's
for sure. Sorry,
there
we got
is a
off on it.
connection.
Yeah.
We have a connection there that we can pull that pin back out.
Yeah.
So yeah, where were we? Oh, we were talking about jerk girls. I started leading women's rides and
Hmm.
found this whole new passion of not just being so absorbed in the sport, but luring more people into the sport and
Yeah.
breaking down those barriers. So yeah, started leading those women's rides, started growing the group. It was fantastic to see the growth as it built. And in 2017, I was recognized by Trek for my efforts in getting more women on bikes. I was invited. I became a Trek Women's Advocate, and I was invited to their Trek Women's Summit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, we have to
So
talk about that after.
yeah, so I went to their the Trek headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin. Yeah, I love your face.
No way.
Yeah, so yeah, it was there that so we were actually in Madison, and we were at the factory in Waterloo, and got to ride the farm trails, which is where they develop some of those sweet bikes. And so I was on a group ride, just this badass group of women just tearing up the trails, and I was like, oh man, I just want more of this in my life.
Yeah.
And like this bomb went off in my head of, to make it my life. And just in that moment, I was like, I don't want to be a bookkeeper and administrator anymore. I want to be a professional mountain bike instructor. I want to make my passion my profession. And it just like, I did not sleep that night. I was up all night researching, and I discovered the Professional Mountain Bike Instructors Association, PMBI. And even though it was already September, I found a level 1 course for October. So October 2017, I became certified as a mountain bike instructor, with then of course winter, Ontario. The next spring, Kelso Conservation Area, one of our local trail networks, said, hey, we're starting a mountain bike school. Who wants to apply? And I was like, oh, me,
Yeah.
pick me. Yeah. So yeah, I think I was like applicant number 1, and just came in being like, hire me.
Yeah.
Um,
You don't need anybody else.
yeah, I was like, I will do all of them. And so yeah, so I started teaching mountain biking there. I also at that time started working at Freewheel Cycle as well. So I was like all bikes, working in a bike shop, teaching mountain biking. But I convinced Freewheel Cycle to offer lessons as well. But it really wasn't a lot of lessons. I wanted to do more. So over those first 2 seasons, trying to remember how many lessons I did, like in the neighborhood of like 30-ish lessons.
Whoa.
Which, I at the time I thought was so much, but at the same time I was like, I want to do this more. So by the end of 2019, I realized, you know what, if if I want to do more of this, I need to make more of this, and I'm going to have to suck it up, and I'm going to have to start my own business. And so spent some time trying to come up with a name. So I've got that figured out, and then I held off registering the business. I waited until January 2nd to register the business because, and I actually said these words, I think 2020 will be a great year to start my business.
Oh my God.
So even though it could have said 2019, like my business certificate says like 2020, and like I'll never forget saying, "Oh, I think 2020 is going to be a great year." Oh,
well, I think what, a lot of people said 2020 was going to be a great year.
yeah.
I remember saying it about something too business wise, and then just like, holy crap.
Yeah. So I'd spent that whole winter getting ready and just getting ready. I was ready to launch and go global in March of 2020, but instead something else went global.
Yeah. Well, were you able to do anything? Because I know like some places were able to, like we were able to get our club rolling, but with lots of restrictions. Like we could have canceled the whole season, but we didn't. But we did a lot of planning, like trying to make it happen.
So I also work at a bike shop, and normally in a normal year we would have a roster of full and part-time staff of like 20-ish people. And through the pandemic, through the bike boom, we had 4.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. Because it was not a time for people to have part-time extra jobs for fun and stuff, and everything was locked down, and like my brain is like shut down a lot of those memories because it was just so stressful. It was on the brink of a panic attack for months.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I didn't teach mountain biking.
No, you probably didn't even leave the shop.
Yeah. And when I did, I just went home and slept. And
oh my God.
Yeah. But by the end of July of 2020, things had opened up enough, and there were so many people asking me for lessons that I was like, I hadn't actually at that point purchased my insurance, which was like my most expensive thing. So I was like, maybe I'll just skip 2020. And then I was like, I've got all these people asking me for lessons. Okay, let's do this. In with the insurance. Let's do some lessons. And very quickly I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun. I forgot how much I love doing it. So,
I'm like outside the shop.
Yeah. So 2020 was an awkward year. I like to say, you ever see those videos of like a cat on a countertop and they're getting ready to jump? They do like the little butt wiggle and they're getting ready to jump off of something, and then they like flub and they fall off the counter. That's how I felt Stoked MTB handled 2020. It was just like dirt and it's just
yeah, I see those videos. Just missing the chair.
Yeah, that was 2020. But I had a better understanding of where I wanted to go with it. Right. So I spent a lot of time that winter, again, the building season, planning, and I planned all this stuff and launched registration. Everything sold out. It was awesome. Ready to start on, I believe it was April 8th, 2021. Everything was ready to go. If you recall, April 7th, the day before, we went back into lockdown and I had to cancel everything.
Oh my God. Everything is postponed. You're not getting refunds.
Yeah. So there was, and all of my people that had signed up, they were fantastic. Pretty much all of them said, okay, just hang on to the money because when you're ready to go, I want in. There was a couple that were like,
you just give them back their money.
Changing. I need the money. Yep. Because I totally get it. Yeah, and so it wasn't until, I'm pretty good with dates. It was June 14th was when we went back into that. Remember that step 1, step 2, step 3,
Yeah.
before we were allowed to operate again. So 2021 was a stunted year, but not as bad. And then this year, 2022, is that where we are? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the year of the passport.
Yeah. Yeah, this year was about as normal. Well, it was definitely the most normal year STOKED MTB's ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's been fantastic. I've hired instructors to help me.
Oh, that's fabulous.
But I also got to realize a dream of my own. So that moment when I was like, I want to be a professional mountain bike instructor, in that late night of researching online, I discovered a group called the Dirt Series, and they do mountain bike skills camps. Predominantly in out west in Alberta and British Columbia, and then down through the US as well. But they are a Canadian company, and I was like, I want to work for them. So that was 2017, and I've always been like, oh, when are they coming east? When are they coming east? When are they coming east? Guess what? Last fall,
you brought it east. Yeah.
Well, last fall, they were looking to hire. They were expanding eastward. I applied, went through the application process, got hired. And so this past summer, I got to work with the Dirt Series as they are expanding eastward. And so that was like another huge check mark. Yes, it's teaching skills, but it's a very different format from what I do. And so it was just like a whole new avenue for Stoke.
Yeah. I mean, you're just learning more, right? You're stoking people. And I think that's important that you learn skills from other professionals, right? Because it's only going to make you better. And like, oh my God, probably epiphanies. Oh, that's an interesting way of doing that.
Yeah.
Better way.
So I do private, semi-private, and group lessons. And I'll also do like 4-week series of group lessons as well. How Dirt Series is different is it's a weekend camp. And so you've got like your morning session of skills, and then afternoon trail ride, and then an evening maintenance session where you go to a bike shop and learn about setting your suspension or trail side repairs or fixing flats and such. And then Sunday, again, the next day again is skills in the morning, more advanced skills in the morning. And then again, the trail ride for that real world application. And so like I remember the first camp I was doing with them was in Sudbury, and one of the women was asking me something, and I was like, this is so new to me. I was like, I'm not used to talking to the same student for more than 2 hours. It's like, wow, this is so cool. And it was great because I got to see like where they started out Saturday morning and the stuff they were sending by the end of Sunday. It was really cool. And in fact, I mentioned I just went to Colorado. I went down to Fruta, Colorado to the season finale sort of the Dirt Series. That was their last camp. I went down to volunteer and just be fully immersed in it, just drink it in. Plus maybe a little bit of riding some cool trails.
Yeah,
but I just I wanted to get more exposure to that style of teaching and presentation for students. So, yeah, absolutely love it. So you mentioned coming eastward. Well, there may be some Dirt Series stuff coming to Eastern Ontario. So, ooh.
Like way to the corner of Ontario, Quebec.
Possibly.
Oh, that would be cool.
Your interest has been noted.
Yeah, well, God, it's funny because I started mountain biking in 2000, Like really real mountain bike. Like remember I said I bought my first mountain bike? Well, that
Yeah.
was there was no suspension on it. It was a mountain bike. Well, it's like anyways, it was a mountain bike with no suspension or anything. That was 90, 98, 97. Then I started adventure racing, and
Mm.
my partner at the time is like, there's no way that you're gonna race on that bike. You have to buy a I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's like 50 pounds. So I
Yeah.
bought a Brody,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, I still have it. I love that bike. And it's a shame that I can't put wider tires on it because, like, I fucking love it. But that's when I started mountain biking, and I did like the 24 hours of adrenaline with a women's team. And I mountain biked, and then I used to road bike to train for mountain biking, and then I switched over. And then I got into road cycling racing, and I started a women's masters team in my women's club, and then I got back into it this year, like after like 20
Yeah.
years, like with my kids. So I'm like, and I was so nervous because, I remember the way I was 20 years ago. Remember? It's like, I'm not that, like I remember when I was like this in high school, I could do that was me until I got on the trail. I'm like, Sylvie, you ain't 30 years old anymore.
Yeah.
You better take a couple steps back and like get back into the skills and like how to climb
Yeah.
little rock walls and things like that, because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna rip this up. I'm like, oh my god, good thing I didn't kill myself. But and then I had to sit back and go, okay, so we're gonna have to start back at basics again. And so it was great sitting with the kids because they're
Yeah.
10 and 11. And so it was a good place for me to start, like
Nice.
just
Yeah.
following them, because they'll rip around and they don't have a
Yeah.
care in the world. And
Yeah.
the groups were big, like all these kids like fast and like, I was just like, oh wow, this is slightly intimidating as an adult. But then it helped me because we went out 2 times a week. So just
Yeah.
getting back on it and the gear management and the hill climbing and the spinning. I was like, okay, this is great. And then I found a women's club so I could ride with women. I'm
Oh,
like, okay,
nice. Yeah.
I gotta stop riding with kids.
Yeah.
I need to be challenged. And that's when I'm like, okay, like I've still got this,
Yeah.
to the point where I scared myself a couple times. But but and that's where I found the Poel. They were
Yeah.
free mountain bike, come out Monday nights. And one of my girlfriends was one of the coaches there. Actually, I knew two of the girls who were leading it. And I'm like, oh God, I used to race with them back 20 years ago. And yeah, it was really nice. And I missed it. And then they made fun of my bike because it was 20 years old. I'm like, yeah, but you used to race on a bike like that too. So don't you poo-poo my bike right now.
Yeah.
I don't have like a $6,000 bike like you. But yeah, anyways, it was good fun. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
yeah.
And that is, you're like right in where Stoked
Yeah.
that is Stoke's purpose,
Mhm.
is helping those folks who, like I like to say, I help people reach their goals, whatever those goals are. So
Yeah.
whether your goal is to be safer or smoother or faster or ride farther, by working on your bike handling skills,
Mhm.
your biking skills is just going to increase your confidence and
Yeah.
therefore increase your fun and move you towards whatever those goals are.
Yeah.
So I like to say I identify as an instructor, not a coach. To me, a
Yeah.
coach is someone who's going to be with you for a long time, tell you what to eat, do something about intervals. Not sure. I've heard that term. I don't get it. It's so not a racer.
Yeah.
It's so not a racer.
Okay, but
um,
as a trainer, I'm sure you do that too, right? Just do some
yeah.
intervals.
No,
No?
I guess so. Yeah. I dabble in Zwift
Mm.
because I gotta say, I am surprised and impressed at how much I enjoy it as an avid mountain biker. I don't like road cycling, but I
Mm-hmm.
love Zwift. Like, you jump on, you go for a great ride, you chat with some great people, get a hell of a workout in, and then you shower and go to work. It's awesome.
So is that like what you're going to be doing for your winter off season for yourself, or are you doing stuff on Swift with clients?
I don't really do anything on Zwift. It's really not relevant to Stoked.
Mm-hmm.
Winter is more when I do my planning and stuff.
Right.
There is going to be some stuff I'll be doing with the Dirt series over the winter.
Ooh.
That will be released in the coming weeks. But yeah, I've been asked a lot of times, do I do like fat biking lessons and such? And I'm open to the idea, but I haven't. Just conditions change so quickly here.
Mm-hmm.
We get snow, and then it rains, and then
Then it's ice, and you're like,
and temperatures can be all over the place, and so it's just harder for people to regulate their body temperatures,
mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I haven't done the fat biking lessons.
I don't know.
But there will be some Dirt series stuff, fat biking stuff that I'll be doing this winter. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, because I know a lot of my friends are like, yeah, I got the fat bike. I'm like, I'm not spending any more money on biking stuff. I have so many, like, if anything, I'm going to get a better gravel bike for next year, and I'm just like, and I like to like close up the season, spend time doing stuff that I haven't done all summer, like in the fall. And and then just migrating inside onto Swift, like you, and I have a training program during the winter that we work, and we work on cycling skills, and it's hard to do this outside, and it's good because then we can learn them, put them into place into Swift and intervals and things like that, and come out stronger at the other end in April. So but I like doing
awesome.
that little, and then getting into like, like downhill skiing and other things outside of cycling that, that brings the passion back like every spring, when it's time.
My husband doesn't ride bikes, shocking. But
Neither does mine.
but we do cross country ski together. So we don't get snow here very much anymore. 10 years ago we did, but now not nearly as much. But we do get out on the cross country skis, and I do get out on my fat bike. But I do like to say, do you need a fat bike to ride bikes in the winter? The answer is no. Because a fat bike makes more conditions rideable and more fun, but you don't need one. I started riding bikes in the winter time. I think that was 2009. We used to put the fattest tires we could fit on our bikes. Like, we're talking like 2.2 inches. Those were fat tires, as opposed to the 1.9s we'd rock in the summer. But it was mostly just squirreling around on a skinny of compacted snow for a few hours, and then you fall down and you're just having fun in the forest with friends. So yeah. But yeah, so winter for Stoked MTB is a lot of planning. I've managed to make some good notes and observations, I think, through this season for next year. So I'll be sitting down and spending a lot of time preparing for next year. So
that's great. Yeah, taking time to plan is important, and I should do more of that. I'm gonna use you as a mentor.
Yeah.
Because
Good
I'm
grief.
like, well, like you, I would like to do more road cycling type training sessions. Like I do the odd one-on-one, like people want to know how to climb hills better. Well, there's lots of things to consider when you're climbing hills. So, just as an example, or, learning how to race, or group ride skills. Like there's all these little things for
Yeah.
cyclists. Yeah. And I've never really put together a strong program like what you're talking about um for coaching. Not coaching,
Mhm.
training sessions. But you've inspired me, because I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and I leave it to the last minute. Why isn't anybody signing up? Because it's the last minute, Sylvie. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. You need it. You need about at least 6 weeks
Yeah.
to really get things out there.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, because I would imagine you start advertising in March.
at the latest.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
But
no kidding.
yeah, I'm hoping to have my calendar locked down by January. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. I should be
So
working on this. I
yeah.
should be working on this. Mel, you
Yeah.
inspired me. Spend more time, drop some things, focus on this. That's the thing.
White whiteboards, they're fun. Write down all the things you want to do and then try to find a way to mash them all in together. Interlock them.
Oh, I might need your help. Do you do
Oh
help?
God.
Business
Ugh.
help?
My life is so chaotic. It's just hearing that just makes me laugh. If my husband could hear that, you'd hear him laughing in the background.
Oh, really? Aw.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you're working at the bike shop, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
I can't picture not working there. I just absolutely love working there. It's just such an awesome environment, and great people. So
oh, yeah. I was thinking of doing that this summer, like looking for, like a part-time thing to go into a bike shop and just start learning more about like
yeah.
the bike over the basic stuff. Like I've got roadside like skills,
Yep.
and but it's everything, it's all the other little finite things about a
Well, the
bike.
commute might be a bit of a bitch, but we're always hiring.
Oh god, yeah, thanks. I know I should put my, but I just feel like what, really, like a woman, and I kind of get that feeling a little bit.
If if you get that vibe from that bike shop, turn around and walk out.
Yeah, I know it's not for me,
Yeah.
but
But not all bike shops are like that anymore. Like Free Wheel Cycle, our goal is gender parity, and we were so close pre-pandemic. We had almost as many women as men,
oh,
which was awesome. Like that was the shop's goal.
mm-hmm,
But then this one finishes university, and this one
mm,
goes off to do other, and then the pandemic where there's you don't have spare jobs kind of thing. So
yeah,
but yeah, any bike shop should be just clamoring to hire someone with your level of experience. While you may not have worked in a bike shop
mm-hmm,
before, you know a lot about bikes,
yeah,
um, about bikes and biking, right?
mm-hmm,
So that when someone comes in and they're like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about getting into cycling. What are the things I'm going to need?" You're going to be like, "These shorts. You're going to
yeah,
buy these. You don't wear underwear under them."
yeah, yep, that would be me. And then the
Yeah.
shoes and the gloves and the
Oh yeah. The
yeah.
necessarizing. Oh yeah.
The necessarizing. I love that. I love necessarizing. I'm gonna have to write that down.
Yeah. Blurring the line between need and want.
Oh, I
I am
love it.
I am a terrible enabler.
And look over here. And look over. I know.
Oh, hey,
Bad.
and this just happens to match your bike. Ugh.
Oh boy. I hope your bike shop has lots of accessories in it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So
Oh my God, Mel, this has been amazing. And I am so glad that you came on and we connected at Hurton and Halliburton, like I mentioned.
oh
So
yeah.
anybody who's in Hamilton, you got to come out and find her. What bike shop did you say you were at?
So it's Freewheel Cycle in
Freewheel
Dundas.
Cycle in downtown.
Dundas Valley. No, Dundas. The town, not the
Oh,
street.
Dundas. Okay, I was thinking like
we
Dundas
we
downtown.
get that a lot.
Oh yeah, see,
Yeah.
see, good thing I didn't. Oh, you're downtown. No, no, no.
Yeah. I know it's the
Dundas, the place.
Dundas Valley. Yes.
Dundas
It's
Valley. There we go.
absolutely beautiful. Yeah. It's really neat because it's the very western end of Lake Ontario. So I can look at a globe and I can pinpoint exactly where I live because it's like the very western tip of Lake
Oh,
Ontario. And it's where the Niagara Escarpment folds back on itself after the Niagara Escarpment. And so it creates this valley. And so that's my hometown. I was born and raised here in Dundas.
oh,
So
very cool. So
I know.
also, ladies, I assume you teach men as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everyone, who are you looking to get
Humans.
into?
I teach
Humans.
humans.
So if you're looking to get into mountain biking or you've already been into mountain biking and you're looking to get some lessons, which I highly recommend for anybody, road cycling, look for road cycling training places, mountain biking, look for Mel, go to stokedmtb.ca, and I
Yep.
believe she has a newsletter on there you can sign up for. I believe.
Yes.
I thought
Yes.
sign up for the newsletter
I
so you
I
don't
recently remembered
miss.
about that.
Yeah, so you because I was on there just before, because so you don't miss all the updates for 2023 and
And
get
more of
yourself
this
signed up.
awesome banter, man. I get we
Yeah,
at the bike shop we call it the Meltone.
the Milton. I love it. Maybe I have to just go down there and take a lesson. What the hell?
Bring your bike.
I
Or
won't.
be
Yeah.
careful. Be careful. I'll sell you a new one.
Well, God, I know. Like, I don't have to come down with a budget. You
One
laugh.
by drivetrain. No,
Yeah.
don't have to deal with the front derailleur anymore. Dropper post.
Oh my God. That's a whole other conversation right there. Is the
Happy
dropper
to
not?
chat.
Oh yeah, I know. The front drivetrain. Because anyways, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Because I have one on my gravel bike and I'm not happy with it. So I'm not going to talk about it. I was like, I love my 3 chain rings in the front. I know you're like, no, you're
We'll,
not gonna like it.
we'll talk about it. For mountain biking is different.
Yeah.
So it
Is it?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. When you think about the hills that you go up on a mountain bike,
Yeah.
you need those easier gears. And when you look at the size of the cassettes on a mountain bike, like
I
they're
know.
this big. But on a mountain bike, we don't pedal going downhill. So you don't need harder gears. Whereas a gravel bike, you're gonna be pedaling going down a lot more hills. So you need a fair amount of range. Now you say that you're one by on your gravel bike, but you're not happy with it. It could just be a matter of you don't have the right range. Maybe your front chainring is too big or too small, and I don't know
but
what the
it keeps popping off. So I got a chain guard.
oh that's something different.
Yeah, but still, like well, that's my thing. So I was like, oh, this is great, and then it started falling off all the time. I got a chain guard that moved, it fell off again. Anyways, so that's kind of, I know it's probably completely different, but anyways, it was one of those frustrating things because it happened at the race like about 7 times. I was just like, yeah, that was me. Ruts fell off. Going down fast. Okay. It's just like get through this event without me
Yeah.
losing it on someone. Like the next, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fucking okay. It's fucking my. Anyways.
That's when I walk into my bike shop and I'm like, boom,
Yeah.
here's my problem. Let's fix this.
I'll be back
There
in
is a
3
better
days.
way.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah, there's a better way. Make it good.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want to bike this. I'm starting to get depressed. I'm starting to get depressed. Well, anyways, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to our banter and our great information. So like I mentioned, go check out Mel at stokedmtb.ca. Sign up for her newsletter so you don't miss any opportunities next year to take one of her lessons. Thanks so much, Mel. Mwah! Love you. And we'll see you. Maybe we'll bring you back to talk about next year.
Oh yeah.
When you get everything ready.
That
to
sounds
talk about
good. The plan.
all the spring stuff that you have on your calendar.
And next time you're in Hamilton, we're going to go for a ride.
Yeah. I need to do a little traveling out west and check out some stuff down there. Yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about offline.
Okay.
All right, take care, everyone. Talk to you later, Mel.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye. All right, what an amazing episode with Melanie Poel. Now, I know I made a mistake with her name in the beginning, but it was so good to connect with somebody on the mountain biking edge because I have not had anybody really talking mountain biking except for a couple episodes. And it was great to have her on there talking about how she's been building her business. I think this was the first real year after COVID, after she started her business, that she had a true season. And I'm so looking forward to her expanding on her business next year and building it over the years and possibly seeing her with Dirt Series here in this region. I always think about, what else can I take on? No, Sylvie, you're not going to do mountain biking. Even though I really like mountain biking, but I love gravel more. So with that, I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. And if you are in the region of Dundas and Hamilton, go find her. Or even if you're in our region, it would probably be really worth going down there and taking one of her lessons. So with that, have an amazing Halloween, everyone. And we'll see you on the next episode. Take care. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on the Secrets from the Saddle podcast, learning more about sighting people, places, and things that make cycling such an exciting sport. I am so glad you stopped by today. Please leave me a review if you feel so moved to do so. I would love to hear your feedback. And if you could take 1 second to share this episode with someone you think would enjoy it, I would be forever grateful. Also, if you could please leave me a review if you feel so moved by going to iTunes and leaving me an honest thought and an honest comment, telling me what you think, and most importantly, tell me what you'd like to hear more of. It would really help me to bring more great, inspiring cycling stories to you. Until then, have an amazing day, make sure you ride your bike, and don't forget to visit my YouTube channel if you'd like to see the full version of this podcast live.